for joining us on this Wednesday. I'm Ned Reynolds, KY3. Chuck Booms is with us from the shores of Lake Erie, and with us here at the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame is the most recent inductee into the Baseball Hall of Fame at Cooperstown, New York, inducted last summer. Colonel Norman Whitey Herzog. Whitey, thank you very much for taking time to be here.
Yeah, I really wanted to get down here today as Ozzy's going to become a legend. And Ned, it's good to see you. I was down at Branson yesterday with my wife, saw a show, had dinner with the Lumpies and Verdens, and we were talking about you. Jerry said you're still the hardest working guy in town.
What? No, that's not what you said. Whitey, you said, is that guy still alive?
I said, well, I got to ask that because every day I pick up the paper, I see a lot of my buddies.
You know, hey, it's happening with all of us, believe me. And this is really nostalgic that you would be down here to be with Ozzy, to have his bronze bust. After all, you're responsible for him coming to St. Louis.
Yeah, I kind of made the best airplane trip I ever made in my life when I flew out there the day after Christmas in 1981 and talked him into giving up his no trade and coming to St. Louis because I was going to really scare Templeton anyway after we had the skirmish. And I was able to get Ozzy for Gary, and that turned out to be putting the icing on the cake as far as getting the ballpark together. I was fortunate enough to manage him for 9 years, and he's one of my 3 Hall of Fame players. And actually, it wasn't for Ozzy, I wouldn't be here.
Yes, you would too. Well, now along those lines, you had to go and talk him into waiving that no trade clause. Did you have a plan B if that didn't happen?
Well, basically, I was very surprised that he became available because when I tried to get him earlier, I was 4 guys, the guy in Detroit, the guy in Boston, Burleson, and Ozzy, they said no. And then after the strike ended, his agent asked for a tremendous amount of money. Mrs. Crock, the wife of the owner of McDonald's, got very mad, and she said, get him out of here. And they came to me and said, were you still interested in doing Templeton for Smith? I said, by all means, we were at the winter meeting. So then McKeon, who was the general manager, told me that he had no trade clause. I said, no trade clause. There's not a player in baseball who had no trade clause with a 1-year contract. Well, he had one, and so I went out there and stayed about 12 hours, had dinner with him, got on the red eye, and went back to St. Louis with the understanding that you come to St. Louis, I'll give you this much money the first year. At the end of the year, if you like St. Louis, you like the Cardinals, you like me, I'll sign you to a long-term contract. If you don't like that, I will give you a release. Because I was going to, any year, it was Templeton was going to be released by the opening day. Finally, the phone rang one day in St. Louis. It was Ozzy and his wife. Came to St. Louis, 10 below 0, from San Diego. Looked like 2 Eskimos. They had full-length 4 curls on and everything else. I said, there's no way he's leaving San Diego to come here. And of course, he did, and everything goes from there. And he had a wonderful career. And I mean, I got to manage him 9 years. And, I can't say he's the greatest shortstop that ever lived. I just don't see how anybody could play that position any better, because I didn't see him. And I saw an awful lot of good shortstop in 45 years of professional baseball. The Wizard was something, and he played hurt, he played all the time, he got banged up, he's a little guy, he was tough, and he's remained a very good friend of mine. Probably him and George Brett, 2 of my Hall of Fame players, were the best 2 players, Ned, I've ever seen with the fans as far as signing autographs. Never turning the kid down, and even after the game, I've seen Ozzy out in the parking lot an hour after the game still signing autographs.
Whitey, precisely what we were talking about just a few minutes ago with some of the fans. Their greatest memories have been that Ozzy would turn him down, get out of his car, and while others would walk away, he'd be right there signing.
I never seen Ozzy or George turn anybody down. And Bruce Sutter, my other Hall of Famer, he was pretty good too. But Bruce had a big family, and a lot of times he had to go. But most days, them 2 would be the last 2 in the park at St. Louis. And George, I don't think he ever turned down a fan. I just don't think that ever happened.
Now, Whitey, thinking back in the times that you were managing the championship Cardinals teams, and specifically with Ozzy, a defining moment in Whitey Herzog's mind as far as Ozzy's contributions to the Cardinals.
Well, you know, people don't realize, but Ozzy did so many things for me off the field. I had a group of young players, Willie McGee, later on Coleman, but I'm talking about Lonnie Smith, and then Tommy Hurt came up, played second, played very well. Templeton came up like very well third. But Ozzie did things that, when you manage ball players, you got them 6 weeks of spring training, and you're harping about doing things each day. After a while, they kind of get tired, and then you turn it over to a coach, and they get tired of listening to us. If I wasn't satisfied the way they were playing, or what they were doing, or how fundamentally we were playing, I'd call Ozzie and I said, I know they're tired of listening to us say this every day, harp on this, but just put the word out. I want it done this way, or we're going to be out here till dark every day, And Ozzie did that for me. And I think that the leadership he showed in the clubhouse and the help he gave me was more to us becoming a ball club that won 3 pennants in 5 years, and with a salary that was 26 out of 30 teams in the big leagues. The World Championship, we got the one taken away from us, Kansas City. Had to play in the Dome. We'd never won a game there. We got to play till Easter in Minnesota. And we very easily could have had 3 World Championships with no team hitting over 65 home runs.
That is in itself astounding. Yeah, Whitey ball, absolutely.
And the other thing, and when we won in '87, we lost our 2 top pitchers on Palm Sunday and Easter Sunday, Danny Cox and Tudor. I left Coxey home from Vero Beach because his elbow was bothering him, and I didn't want him to drive 4 hours on the bus and back. So I left him. I was going to pitch him the next day. He went fishing, jumped over a seawall, and broke his leg. And then on Easter Sunday, we were playing the Mets, and the catcher for the Mets, Brian, the ball was behind the dugout, behind the row. He jumped in the dugout and hit John Tudor and broke his leg. So I didn't have a number 1 or 2 guys. They came back in August. And we hit like a son of a gun. Everybody had a great year offensively after 108 games. We were winning, leading all the Major League Baseball in runs scored. And Jack Clark had a super year. Ozzie hit 300. Irv had a career year, 100 some RBIs. And then all of a sudden we started hitting like we were supposed to. And at that time I got Tudor and Cox back late July. And I had 3 pitchers win 11 games and 3 pitchers win 10 games. And in the history of baseball, no one has ever won a pennant in the major leagues without at least a 14-game winner. And we had 3 11s and 3 10s.
which says it all. They were so defined as baseball team with everybody's skill and we brought it.
Well, they love to play like that, and they bought into it. And kind of made me mad after I left the Cardinals. My team started out every year trying to break Roger Maris's record as a team. And all of a sudden, 10 years later, they got a guy breaking Roger Maris's record by himself. So it changed a little bit. But see, baseball, man, will never go back to that. The balls are not tough, the players are bigger, the parks are smaller, so you never really had the base running, base stealing as important. You couldn't play like that.
I'm interested to hear you say that. You don't think we'll ever see that again?
If they keep the ball like it is, and they keep the strike zone like it is, then I'd say to be able to succeed playing that kind of baseball, that the foul lines would have to be 375. It would have to be 415 to the gaps, left center, right center, and 450 center. And that's the only way you can equalize the power, and that's the only way that you can use your speed. And people don't realize in baseball, there's only one thing you can use on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively, and that's speed. And you can use it to score runs, and you can use it to cut off runs. And that's what they try to play.
Speed kills. Absolutely. Real quick before we let you go, your assessment of the current Cardinals.
Cardinals this year had the best lineup they've had since I went to St. Louis in 1980. I think they'll lead the National League in runs scored, and I think without injury. And I do think that they'll win the division by at least 10 games. Cincinnati's playing good right now. They're hitting a lot of good teams that aren't playing good. And you look at the season, LA was bad when they got them. The Phillies can't score right now. The Phillies are really having problems. And they miss the center fielder, they miss the second baseman. They're not really giving Hard much to hit. I mean, they're throwing him 4 inches off the plate, so it's a big issue. The one thing about the Phillies is by the fact they just got beat by the Cardinals. Both games they could have won with a blue pin. And when you have that good starting pitching every day like they have, they're going to be in the race. But I just think that there's change a little bit. I mean, the Phillies offense is nothing like it was. They miss up. They he's the second baseman, and now they got rid of the right fielder. Got a lot of money to go to Washington, and he had a pretty good year the last 3 years.
Jason Worth, absolutely. Yeah.
Right. But I like Clark, and I think the whole key is going to be Carpenter. I don't think right up till now he's been dominant. The young lefty's great, Garcia. Losey's come back. He's on his walk year again, and he got signed to a 4-year big contract on his walk year. So he's probably going to do well.
That's right.
It happens like that sometimes. And I don't know about the sinker baller, Westbrook, because he's pitched very well 3-4 times, and he's pitched very bad 3-4 times. He's been very inconsistent. Right now, his ERA is bigger than that. But the thing about him, Dad, he competes, takes the ball, he gives them innings, but he's just been kind of up and down. I don't know how it's going to end up. I thought the offense this year would help him a lot. I think they're going to score 4 or 5 runs a lot, where last year they used to score 2 or 3 of them. And I thought that would really be a big difference for him. So we'll see how that comes out. But I like the ball club very much.
You are a gentleman for taking time to be with this big guy. I greatly appreciate it. Look forward to future visits.
Okay, good to see you.
Whitey Herzog visiting with us, inducted into the Hall of Fame last June.
All right, I gave the guys my car. You found
Cooperstown, New York.
I told
We
him.
will take a very quick time out here in the Sports Reporters. We have more coming up. Don't you go away.
No, he wouldn't let me in the